Jeff, how you doing, man?
Good. Sorry I'm late.
Oh, it's all right. We got your email. You were flying down the road. I said, well, you better be safe flying.
I'm ready to rock and roll whenever you guys are.
There we go. All right. Cool. Yeah. Thanks for being here today, Jeff. We've got.
Happy to be here. Happy to be here.
Yeah. For those of you guys who don't know Jeff, he goes by another name. That's the Chief Beef Slinger. It was royally dubbed to him during the launch of his bulk beef cold conversions. Right. So go ahead. Let's see here. We got Anthony, Marcy, Bob. Looks like everybody's kind of strolling in too. A little late today. That's all right. I know how that goes. So Jeff, let's go ahead and get started. Why don't you introduce yourself, what your ranch name is, the style of ranching that you do, and go ahead and talk to us about how you kind of got into all this.
Great. Thanks, Lacey, and thanks for giving me the opportunity to chat with everyone. It's been a really, really nice ride with the Farm Rebel folks, and I just want to say I appreciate everything you guys are doing. Without you guys, I wouldn't be here today, so thank you. But my name is Jeff Charlton, aka the Chief Beef Slinger. I'm outside of Austin, Texas, on my wife's ranch. I own nothing. I'm pretty much just the post hole digger and the fence stretcher and the cattle rustler, if you will. But this ranch has been in my wife's family for over 100 years. It's about 12,000 acre ranch. It's nothing pretty. It's very old. The fences are old, but there's no debt on it, and it's okay for cattle, right? It's not perfect, especially in a drought situation. But I would say 15 years ago, when I married into the family, my father-in-law gave me 20 cows. 20 old cows, old Angus Brangus cows. And I had been my dad was a vet growing up, so I knew a little bit about the cattle business, nothing like how to really raise them and sell them and build a profitable business. But that's where we started I'd say about 10 years ago. And we then went into I went into the registered Angus bull business, believe it or not. I didn't know what I was doing, but I had some colleagues that were doing well in that, and I did fairly well in that. Along came COVID, and one of our friends said, "Jeff, you guys have cows, don't you?" I said, "Yeah, they're right out there. You can see them." He said, "Well, why aren't we eating your cows? We can't find beef in the store." I said, "I don't know. I don't know anything about it. Let's research that." So that's where it started, the whole direct to consumer transition from old school, where you leave the bulls out year round in the pasture and they breed year round. And when you need a little bit of money, you go out and you pick up some calves, you take them to the auction barn. That's what they've been doing for 100 years here, right? So we made that transition during COVID, and it was from scratch. Guys, gals, I had no tech stack. I'm an IT sales guy, still am, but I have my resignation letter written that I'm going to hand in next week.
No way, Jeff. Congrats, man. That is living the dream. That was one of your goals when you enrolled, was to leave your job.
Yeah, I actually have chill bumps right now thinking about it.
I do too. I do too.
It's exciting, but it's also really scary. But our kids, we got 3 kids. Of those 3, only one is left in college. So timing is pretty good now that we've got the machine kind of running. Had our best month last month. But when we transitioned from the direct to consumer model, got out of the Angus business, got out of the bull business, and started right in with American Wagyu. I just did the research, and I thought that was where I wanted to go. So we breed registered Angus cows to registered Wagyu bulls. I lease these bulls from JBS Foods, and I'm in a program with JBS where whatever I don't sell direct to consumer, they buy directly from me, and they give me a 25% premium. So I don't do any marketing for the JBS stuff. They'll buy everything I can produce. So that's a easier way to quicker money, but the margin's much less, right? I'll sell an animal there for $2,000 versus $8,000 direct to consumer. Of course, there's much more input cost. And that's, Lacey, something I have just come to the realization in how much working capital a little business needs. That is one of my issues, right? Feeding these animals out for 24 months, not any revenue coming in until 24 months.
Half is tough that way. Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm looking at a $50,000 feed bill that I don't know how in the heck that happened, right? So there are challenges that are very new to me that that we're working through. And thanks to you all, it has been a very exciting experience, from building this tech stack and integrating Drip and Shopify and, learning how to really produce a quality product that the customers want. And that's the first thing that I really learned the hard way, was the difference in producing, harvesting, selling a regular Angus animal versus an American Wagyu animal, just for the simple fact that the Wagyu species doesn't really start marbling until, around 12 months of age, and then it goes way up. So I was harvesting my American Wagyus at 12, 13, 14 months. And we got some decent reviews, but we're like, it's not great. Right. So I'm like, my head between my tails. What am I going to do? And so that's, another lesson learned. You need to feed those things out a little bit longer. And ever since we started doing that, the reception of the quality has been great. I never worry about the quality of the animals. I worry about having enough buyers. Right. That's because I've got about 100 mama cows. So my pregnancy rate is not great right now because I've got a lot of first-year heifers, second-year heifers in my herd. And I'm only at probably a 75% pregnancy rate. So I'm producing, 70 or 75 head. And right now I'm selling right at probably 3 animals a month. I was hopeful to sell 1 animal a month, right? And because of the principles that you guys taught me, and I got very lucky meeting some people in the industry, a very popular influencer who has really catapulted my business.
Yeah, he's been a really good thing for you. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, let's dig into what the heck you did with us, because you did so many awesome things. Just this last month, quote me if I'm wrong, you made about $30,000 in revenue. Isn't that right? Just last month. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
What things, in revenue to date, what's your revenue to date with us? You have a ballpark?
So I guess I'm coming up to my 1 year mark with you guys. Not much more than that, probably 50,000.
Okay.
I mean, it's really the last 6 months has really been where things started gelling and getting introduced into some other influencers. So I say 50,000 total.
Yeah. But the trajectory that you're headed at is you have a lot of momentum moving forward. What do you project that you will do this year? I mean, it's only April. We're not even out of first quarter, What are your hopeful projections for the year?
Well, my stretch goal is 5 animals a month. Done. So I just got 2 orders driving back from Austin, 1 in Tampa Bay, bought a half a beef, and these guys from Armenia. I'm not shipping my beef to Armenia. He lives in Tampa Bay, but
I was like, oh wow, you got to teach me a trick to do that.
Another thing on that, I have been getting just to show you how much I don't know. I've been getting a lot of inquiries from Hawaii. Hey, do you ship to Hawaii? So stupid me. I've been advertising in Hawaii. How stupid is that, right?
Well, I mean, usually you're the first I've heard that actually has. Usually we don't do those exclusions. So it's just, of course, it would be you, right? Who gets the messages all from Hawaii. Man, okay. So talk us through, Jeff, for just those listening in the room. What were some of the big needle movers for you over the last 6 months that helped you to get to that $30,000 a month in revenue that you had this last month?
And just to back up a minute, so far in April, we're at about 8,000 gross. So that kind of gives you the full picture. Got 5 animals coming at the end of this month. 3 of them are already pre-sold. So I've got 2 that are available. And then I got 5 more coming at the end of May. And bring me back to that discussion, Lacey, about the whole deciding how many to hold back versus to sell to JBS. That's a challenge, this whole supply chain thing, trying to figure that how many to hold back. But I'd say getting the tech stack built as the foundation to run your business is the first thing. And then the second would be executing on these promotional partnerships, because the one thing I've found in this beef business that I've been in sales for 30 some odd years. It's the only business that I've ever been in that literally everybody wants what I have. I've never met anybody in this that says, oh no, I'd rather buy my beef from the grocery store. Everybody wants what I have. And that doesn't happen to a salesperson. We usually get rejected way more than we, get a yes to. So from that perspective, it's been good. And I will tell you, my wife and family were like, oh, this is not going to work. Why are you doing this? This is not the way we've been doing it. No. It's all changed now. They're like, well, okay, look what's happening here. And my wife is all about it now. So, and the daughter getting involved in the business a bit. But I say the tech stack, the teachings and principles from the Farm Rebel promotional partnerships has been really, really helpful. And I find that to be the easiest path of growth for me, just because the whole social media thing. I didn't even have a Facebook account. I was anti-Facebook, until COVID. Right. So naturally, I just didn't really spend as much time on the organic type growth just because I didn't know about it, wasn't comfortable with it. So tech stack, promotional partnerships, building the email list, dabbling on the organic side with some shitty content and throwing money away on Facebook ads because I had no idea what I was doing. Really struggling that first year, And then I met a couple influencers, creators who have upped my game on the whole organic creative side. And then I would say some giveaways, like the thing I was at last night was Austin Woods and Waters Club, where I donated 20 pounds of beef, and I'm getting all the emails from that and have learned that there are certain organizations that, have our customer avatar as their either association members or employees or customers. They really are enamored with the whole life of a rancher. I had no idea, people are interested in this. They come out and help me work the cattle every year. I'll have anywhere from 10 to 20 people that show up. Like May 31st, we've got our cattle working. These people come out for free and do this. And I guess it's just because it's a dying
style. Yeah.
But
and we say that a lot. I mean, a lot of people come into this program and they're like, we tell them to write just a farm newsletter. And it's like, well, why would anybody want to hear what's happening on the farm? Because to the rancher, it's like, this is boring everyday life, right? But to the person living in suburbia who doesn't have contact with anything like that lifestyle, it feels exotic. It feels interesting. Mm-hmm. And so even just you out fixing fence or doing the things you do every day, would you say you were the post hole or something?
Yeah, post hole digger, fence stretcher.
Yeah, the official post hole digger. Even that, it's like, whoa, what interesting work, And so having that window for people is something that you're witnessing firsthand. People find that interesting and are drawn to it.
And it really helped me in business too. Like in my IT business, I quickly found people wanted to talk about this beef thing more than the IT topic, right? That we're out to dinner to talk about, right? And so it helped me from that perspective as well.
It's almost like, there's your sign, right? That you're headed over into direct beef sales and leaving IT. When you find yourself talking more about beef sales than IT at your client dinners. That's hilarious. Right. Man, okay. Well, there's so much to unpack here, Jeff. One of the things I want to go a little bit more into detail on is this collaborative partnership strategy. So that was one of the first things that you hit in the program. And it's more of a time commitment, right? Because it's either time or money. Like ads, you can generally just launch and start at some point, once you get them all refined and stuff, start bringing in revenue. But partnerships are relationships, they're collaborations, they're communication, they're back and forth, they're setting commitment dates. So you had, it sounds like, kind of struck out a few times. And rather than giving up or being like, oh, the whole thing doesn't work, you kept striking the, I always compare it to mining a mountain, right? You hit and you dig and you're like, oh gosh, there's no gold here. And then you hit and you dig and there's no gold here. And you could just say, well, this whole mountain doesn't have anything in it. Or maybe you keep mining because you've got some leads. And eventually you found your partner, your current, that first big influencer, Jake, right? Is his name?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Jake-
So talk to us about like that process. Like, how did you find each other? And then what did that partnership take? Like, what took place to help kind of propel you into sales? You know, you mentioned you really has had an impact on pushing you into sales. So what went down there?
Yes, so you hit it. You hit a very key point there, Lacey. That if I could impart one or two things on the group, or really anybody, and in any business or any endeavor, is if you have a high level of activity, whatever it is, you're going to get better at it, whatever it is. And so, lucky for me, I just applied those principles of sales that I've had in years, where you knock on that door and you're going to knock on another one. You have to get three no's to get to a yes, right? So
That's so true with partnerships. So true.
and like you said, I never really, nobody really wanted to talk to me. Like, I didn't have a following. I had a crappy website. And so one day, this is how it happened. One day at the processor, I'm asking him, I'm saying, so what all am I paying for here? Am I paying for all the beef fat that comes to, like, where is that? And they said, yeah, you're paying for that. I said, okay, well, let me have that beef fat. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. This is 6 months ago. Well, it sits in my freezer, taking up space, and I need to move it out for things people will buy. So I start calling around deer processors, trying to get rid of this beef fat. I'm just going to give it away. Well, I get referred to this deer processor in this small town, and he says, no, but I know this girl across the street who makes candles and tallow soap for HEB, and she's really doing well. She'll take it. So long story short, I met Keisha Magum with Kudu soap, and he said, I will take all the tallow beef fat that you produce. And oh, by the way, I know a guy who's right. You guys would get along well. His name is Jake Thomas. He's an influencer in Austin. He's a carnivore. He's a health and fitness person. He's got a wide.
You're like, check.
Yep. Yeah. Now she said he is not for everyone, because he's a military guy, and it is like, you better show up on time, and you better have your shit together, right? Because otherwise you're not going to have any really credibility with him. And that's been good and bad for our relationship, but that's how that started. And lucky, this is just luck. He not only is an influencer and knows a lot of beef eater carnivores. Austin, Texas is full of these people. It's one of the best markets in the world for foodies and health nuts and carnivores and keto and paleo and all these people, right? These conferencers come here, a lot of them. But he is also a digital creator and does an excellent job in creating content. So I have the double whammy with him, right? He has the audience, he has the relationships, he has the digital creation. So he comes out here to the ranch once a month, and we spend all day long shooting content once a month. And we'll have, we'll get my daughter involved, the wife involved, because we gotten to the point now. It's like, well, what are we going to do now? We've taken enough videos of the meat and of the land and the history, and so we're having to think of new things. But that's where the upgraded content has come from, and the partnership revenue is through Jake. That's how I got involved with him.
Yeah. And you guys ran your ads just a little bit different than we teach too, which has been really fun to test with you, where you're leveraging partnership ads. And that's where Meta will actually serve your content to his following. Isn't that right?
Correct. It's much like you sending a collaboration request, a tag with a collaboration request. If you accept that, or you have someone out there in your audience that accepts your collaboration request, well, then that content can automatically be shown to them. The Facebook thing is fairly new for me. We're really just getting started in that, but the ad creatives, I think, have really been good for us in that. But we're doing it multiple ways. We're doing it where he will launch the collaboration from his Instagram, tag me, and then I'll boost it. Or we do it more the traditional way where it's a partnership, collaboration, branded content, I think is what they used to call it, maybe. They being Meta. They sure change things a lot, right? When you figure it out, it's like, then they change.
Yeah, they do. Meta likes to, make sure you're always on your toes.
I am so frustrated with them. Like, it's a love-hate.
I know. Yeah. So talk to me about, so you ran the offer, the free freezer with bulk beef, right? Mm-hmm. What were some pivotal aha moments that you had that pushed your ad into conversions? Because I know that for a hot second, we were really struggling, having lots of abandoned carts, and we had to make lots of adjustments and tweaks. What were those kind of key things that you found that pushed your ads over into sales?
Well, there's this gal named Lacey Pressler that I ran into, and she said, your landing page is a hot mess. That must change, because I had all kinds of things wrong on it. So that was one of the things that when we cleaned that up, we started seeing more credible data because it was people were going. I mean, I was having hundreds of views on the landing page and adds to cart, but it was confusing them and they weren't converting. Right, none of them were converting. I was getting a lot of activity, but nobody was converting. So when we modified the landing page, we tweaked our pricing a little bit now. Lacey, I don't know if you've noticed that or not, but now I can tell my customer exactly what they're getting in terms of minimum pounds and exactly what the price is going to be.
Before, excellent.
You remember how I'd say a half a beef is going to cost between $3,000 and $5,000, something like that, right? Or $3,000 for $4,400, and they were like, what is it going to be? So between the modifications in the sales landing page, between tweaking some of these ads, adding a retargeting campaign in addition to a sales campaign, changing my conversion event to a purchase, and restructuring the way I have my products described. Those are the things that I think, right? I still I guess that's what's helping.
No, yeah. I mean, it was all those things. It was a combination of things. And it's how do I want to say this? Like, ads is not for the faint of hearts, right? You've learned that. Like, it can be challenging and it can push you to your limits, to like frustrations, right? Of like, oh, why isn't this working? But the difference of cranking out $30,000 in revenue and not is pushing yourself to test different elements to get it into conversion. And you did that. I mean, to a T. We said it, you did it. We said it, you did it. And, it's because of that, now you're able to like be driving from wherever to Austin and have a couple half beef sales come in, right? Mm-hmm. So it's worth it in hindsight, but coming from the perspective of rolling in it, what advice do you have for people who are rolling in it, who are like, I can't get this thing to convert, or just launching ads in general? What advice do you have for other members who are in the middle of it right now?
I must give a shout out to Priscilla, because I just felt like I was so reliant on her with a lot of this. So first and foremost, leverage the Farm Rebel recipe and what they're teaching, because that created the blueprint, that created the framework of the Facebook ad campaign, right? Then the other, I would say, would be creatives. Make them really as good as you can. And I went out and bought one of these, what do you call them? These things you hold.
Like a selfie stick?
Well, it's that, but it's the thing that balances the camera.
Oh, a tripod.
Well, it's not called a tripod. Anyway, you can hold it like this and it doesn't shake, right? So it's $150 or something like that. And so I started using that. The ads got better. We used some of Jake's ads, high quality ads with me, with bringing my daughter into these things helped immensely, right? Bringing my wife into these ad creatives really, because she brought in the whole historical component, right? So I'm talking about the regenerative, the quality, the sustainable ranching. She's talking about the history. Then they see my daughter in here talking about local support. So I guess they're seeing, okay, well, it's just not this one guy. It's, they're a family operation. They've got some history. And I think that helps. So bring other people, I guess, into your ad creatives. I'm learning in the last week, since I've got Facebook really working with me closely, is mix up not only videos, but keep them below 30 seconds, 15, even better if you can. Add some images into the ad set, right? I had all videos, and once I put an image in there, and then I changed it up to not just me, but to my wife and to my family, et cetera, those things kind of help. And then the retargeting as well.
Yeah, talk us about what'd you do in your retargeting for creative.
What's that?
Yeah, tell us what you did in your retargeting for your creative.
For the creatives, again, kind of got lucky. I play pickleball every Thursday with a group of guys. One of them just bought a full beef, and he packed his whole freezer. We had a few cocktails. He was feeling no pain, and he just gave the best impromptu video opening his freezer just packed full of beef. And we taped it a couple times, but that thing has gotten like 100,000 views. And every day there's like 5 or 10,000 more. It's amazing, that thing. And then I asked one of my other pickleball players, who's a coach, and I said, hey, would you come out here? I give him free beef, right? And this is my newest one, and it's him talking about the quality of the beef and how it helps him and that kind of thing. So we're in the
you're saying, and what?
We're in the process of doing a retargeting to my abandoned cart people and creating a look-alike audience.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
We're just in the process of doing that.
It cracks me up. Well, first off, I love that the secret to getting really great testimonial videos is to actually just go join a pickleball league and serve them cocktails, and they'll buy beef from you that you can take testimonial videos from. So
who would have thought it, right?
Who would have thought it? Yeah. I think pickleball, honestly, is the forgotten sport of most of our avatars. Like, I would say all of our avatars are into pickleball. And that is a perfect avenue for partnerships and building relationships. I love pickleball too, so it's near and dear to my heart. But no, I just love, Jeff, that you're over here talking about lookalike audiences and retargeting strategies and all these like pretty high level complex subjects, right? And I remember when you came in, you were like, pump the brakes. Like, so what is a funnel exactly? What is this drip you speak of? Like, it is so wild to like wrap my head around like how far you've come in your education. It's like we have hyper blasted you into a master's in marketing, and to hear you speak, it blows my mind. And I think a lot of people feel like maybe they're in that position where they're trying to grasp, like, what are these words they're using? And, what advice do you have for those folks who are on their way to where you are, right? But in the process, it can feel a little daunting, a little scary. Yeah,
just trust the system is what I would say. And one big motivator for me is just my dislike of my corporate sales job and the pressure and just doing it for so long that I was so motivated to get out of that, right? I'm just like all I would think about was this direct to consumer beef business when I'd go to bed. When I wake up, that's all I would think about. And still, right? So I had a external motivator. I don't know if I would think a lot of the people in the program are ranchers. That's all they do, right? Mm-hmm. They're trying to transition to a more profitable model.
We have a lot of people though they come in, they're teachers, they're electricians, and their goals are similar to yours, where they want to make this their full-time thing. So I think it's really inspirational that like you're walking into it, and I get it. It's scary. I totally, like, any entrepreneurial endeavor it's terrifying, right? But the difference is, I always say like walking in faith, not fear, right? And I always feel like any type of small business endeavor or leaving the security of that 9 to 5 is 100% walking in faith. And when you do that, especially because you feel called to it, right? Like you wake up and your heart is like, it's on fire for it. You think about it, like you can't put it down. Like, to me, that is the signal that, like, you can't not be successful because of that, because you will be rewarded for walking in faith. But it's a scary, scary path. Like, it takes bravery, right?
Yeah, I would say more fear is a great as my father-in-law says, fear is a great motivator in children and in bird dogs and in professionals trying to get out of the corporate world. I can attest to that. Yeah.
Children, bird dogs, and people trying to get out of the corporate world. Yeah, I love that. Okay, so let's talk about email marketing a little bit. You've grown a pretty decent sized list, and you've done that primarily through collaborative partnerships, a lot of email mop-up. You haven't run a retargeting ad for email mop-ups yet, though, right?
No, and just this past week, I don't know how I've missed this, but there was someone who mentioned Facebook ads for the purpose of getting email addresses.
Yeah.
And I haven't explored that at all either.
So we'll do that at some point relatively soon, where we're going to go back in and we'll go scoop up anybody who's had eyes on your content. We're going to get them all on your list. So that's kind of the next phase. Mm-hmm. But leading up to this, you've done it primarily through partnerships. And what has the conversions been like? And just like, what's been your email strategy? What have you been sending them?
Right.
And how many do you have again? What have you built your list up to?
That's about 3,000, but that growth, I mean, it was like 300 6 months ago. I've done maybe 10 promotional partnerships, some of them very successful, some of them terribly unsuccessful for various reasons. But I just find like that's a more natural thing for me to go out and talk to a business owner. And I know the teaching, Lacey, is go find a potential partner that has a customer base or an association membership, whatever, that is like your perfect avatars. I find almost any business, I don't care what it is, an eye doctor, right? That's been one of my most successful partnerships, is an eye doctor, right? Who knows if these people are beef eaters or not? But I find that most organizations, especially in the local community, they want to embrace other local businesses that present them with something that's low risk, doesn't cost them any money, anything, and provides their constituency with some value, right? And so it's been fairly easy for me to execute on these email lists, and it's just basically the giveaway, right?
Yeah.
You donate 20 pounds of beef and you give it away to your customers, and let me write up and that's one thing I want them to do as little work as possible, right? So when I reach out to them, I have it all prepared, the landing page already done, the sample email, the sample outreach, not just, hey, Lacey, you want to talk about a partnership? We've got a ranch out here. We got some beef that your customers might.
And I'm struggling to figure out what to write about you, and I'm not sure what to say, or I say it wrong and you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't want you to say that, and I'm misrepresenting your business. Yeah, making it easy as possible is so key with partnerships. And if I had to guess, the people you've worked with are absolutely in shock and in awe, because you're probably one of the most prepared people that they've ever collaborated with, which is going to stick in their minds and make them want to work with you over and over.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think any of them have ever done anything like this. I mean, this in terms of the beef giveaway. I don't know if they do this kind of thing. One of them was with a local honey company. One of them was with a private equity organization that had 5,000 rich people on the list. I'm licking my chops thinking this is it. All right. it ended up being one of the worst promotional partnerships.
Okay, why? Why did it flop?
I think because they put my advertisement, oh, hey, by the way, newsletter readers, investors, here's a beef company. We've bought it and it's really great. It was on the last page of a 7-page newsletter. Like, who reads a 7-page newsletter?
Oh, no kidding.
You get to the first or third page and then you scan it. So that's I only had like 50 opt-ins out of 5,000.
Yeah.
I did get one purchase though.
Oh?
Yeah. So that one, I've done it with my eye doctor. I've done it with my dental office. I'm doing it with an outdoor store, with Austin Woods and Waters Club. I'm talking to the CCA. It's a pretty big nationwide association, but I'm just talking to the Texas chapter about doing that.
Yeah.
Some hunting clubs have been very good, where they bring people out and they feed them a nice dinner. But it's just been the same thing you guys teach on the promotional partnerships with, gathering the emails through the landing page, clicking on the link, getting populated in a drip, and then, using those emails to market to in your newsletter.
Yeah. What have you learned you're in sales. Do you have any tips or tricks in like getting the yes out of them, or handling or dealing with the rejection when you get it? You said for every yes, you get a yes, right? And so what's the tricks to closing them, and how do you handle rejection?
Well, when you think about this whole process, you can't expect someone to just say yes when you first reach out to them, right? So I have a goal that every day I'm going to reach out to 3 new promotional partners. I don't always do that, but when you start getting that level of activity, you're going to have some that just start eventually falling out, right? Saying, yeah, I'd like to talk to you. Let's meet for lunch. If you can meet these people personally, I've learned that works much better than just doing it over the phone, because it's a relationship thing, right? They begin to trust you more when they see you. So that's one thing. I think volume is another. You can't come in, at least in my experience, and reach out to one promotional partner a week and expect it to work, right? I play the numbers, and then having them do as little work as possible, plus giving some beef away to that person, that owner of that business. You bring them some beef and let them try it first, right? Before you ever ask them to engage in some kind of promoting your product without them first trying it.
I love that. What a great way to nurture them, to seed the pot, so to say.
American Gangster. I don't know if you guys have seen that movie, but it's about Frank Lucas, is like a drug dealer and back in the day. And unlike the Frank Lucas of the cattle business, right? Because he was a master of creating these relationships this sounds kind of bad, but he would give the drug away, get them hooked, right? And they just kept coming back. So I'm giving the beef away, and they just keep coming back, right?
It's so good. And that gets them talking about it, gets them to become a raving fan of yours, which is going to translate when they go to promote you to their following and to their traffic sources. Yeah, no, that's amazing, Jeff. Partnership traffic, it's one of those things that, like you've experienced, it takes time, and it is a volumes game, and it is a relationships game. But boy, oh boy, the fruit of that. The quality of leads that can come out of that, and what that can translate to in revenue is it's astronomical. So the work that you've put in to acquire a list primarily through partnership traffic, the lifetime value of being able to monetize those emails is your security blanket. That's your backbone of your business. A lot of the sales that you've seen this last month have all been from cold acquisitions. This is like strangers to bulk beef sales. But when you really dig in, or I'd be curious to hear what you have done, digging into email conversions and running like official bulk pre-sale promotion, and the revenue that can come from that, Jeff, could wipe you out of beef in like 1 week.
I hope, because that's how I really thought you guys were teaching us to build this business, to build the email list. as of late, transitioned a little bit more to including organic and cold conversion right through social media. And that's truly where the majority of the revenues come from, is from the bulk.
Because it's fast.
Yeah.
But the long-term part of your business is going to be your email list, because, you know, you're only as valuable as a business, you guys, Jeff, all of you guys that are listening, as the traffic that you own, right? Now, you can have a massive following on social media, right? But what happens if social media goes down one day? If you violate a policy that you didn't really violate and they shut down your account, if you get hacked and you lose your password and you can't get in anymore, how are you going to talk to your people if you do not own their contact information? So social media is not a reliable way to have ownership over your traffic. So the idea is that it's a tool to drive conversions and find new customers, right? Whether that be list growth or direct offers or whatever, like what Jeff's doing. He's doing a lot of direct offers, and that's great. But on the back end, right, he's been slowly growing and dripping and building this big list that, should he decide he doesn't want to spend money on ads anymore, right? He has that to fall back onto to monetize over and over and over again for years to come, So the value of that email list could be 10x, 100x what he's even doing today. That's why it's kind of the second step to what you're doing right now, Jeff, is you've seasoned your meta so well that now if we were to go back and mop up all the people that have engaged with that ad, have been to your website, the abandoned carts, all of it, we'll get them all on an email list. You can have you run an official bulk beef pre-sale yet to your email list?
I mentioned it like in my newsletter.
Okay. So it's coming, like you're planning on doing it.
Well, no, I'm just saying it's open. I'm just reminding them that, hey, here it is. Click the link if you want,
I gotcha. So you're running them to a deadline right now because you'd launched your bulk pre-sale.
I probably am not doing it the correct way.
That's okay.
So the answer is probably no to that question. No, I probably have not leveraged the email list for a true bulk beef conversion campaign.
And that is super exciting for me to hear, Jeff, because you have no idea what storm is coming your direction for beef sales. To have a proper pre-sale promotion run to that list, and you and I, we can talk strategy in our office hours this week. It is absolutely going to be a game changer for you. So first things first, you're going to close everything out. You're going to say we're out of bulk beef, but we can talk about that in a second. It'll be scary for like 2 weeks, and then we can do something official. But we'll talk about that this week, and I'll get you all set up because there's so much for you to do yet. Retargeting. We're going to be launching an official pre-sale promotion to your big fat hot list. All of these things, ideally, are going to help you finish out your year with us very strong. So I'm super excited for you. We're coming up at the top of the hour here. So do you have any kind of just last minute words of wisdom for the newcomer coming into this program, or just deciding to go direct to consumer and beef sales?
I would say have a mentality of a long game mentality, not a short game mentality. Focus on quality in every aspect that you do, whether it's your creative, whether it's your product, whether it's how you communicate with your customers, know your numbers probably should be number one. Like, know your numbers. And there's things that happen every month that are going to change that gross margin. For example, all these Facebook ads I'm running now, that's eroding my margin, right? I haven't increased my price, so I'm not making this much money. So know your numbers, be flexible, try different things, right? And don't be scared, I would say, to put yourself out there and realize that the general public has a lot of interest in what we all do. And it may be a bit of a bubble right now with the cattle prices and, this raised awareness of the shitty food system we have in our country. But I think it's a perfect storm for all of us right now to really capitalize on this whole scenario that we're in. Embrace technology. Those are just a few things off the top of my head.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I love that your mentality, you even started this call off with it. I don't know if you all caught it, but he said he's always just thought that everybody wants what I have. Everybody wants what I have. And I feel like a lot of times our members come in and they're almost so beaten up and bruised from like their local community or whatever, right? Over like, oh, your prices are crazy or whatever, that we have like this self-talk of like, nobody wants what I have, nobody wants what I have. So I love that you brought that mentality of like, that's never even crossed your mind that people don't want what you have. Everybody wants what you have. You got the goods. You're like you really are the chief beef slinger. You're the drug lord of the steak, like dealing out those steaks, getting everyone hooked on them so that they're coming back wanting more, I love that mentality. And I just hope that there's one thing that you guys take away today from Jeff and his story and his experience is that everybody wants what you have. Everybody wants what you have. And so it's just a matter of plugging into that traffic and finding and getting connected to those people that do value what you do, because what you do is valuable. It is valuable. And so anyways, Jeff, thanks for bringing that mindset to the table today, because it's an important one. And it's funny that, even just the thought of that other people don't think that way it's how rooted in that you are. It shows how rooted you are.
Well, thank you, Lacey, and thanks to the whole Farm Rebel team and, the colleagues that have Anthony, I see you out there, and there's some others that have taken time to take my call and let me pick their brain, right? It's because they further ahead than I am, what was. So I'm very grateful for all of you and appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, that is, I love that about the Farm Rebel community. It's like, you don't just have us like as coaches, as marketing coaches and teachers. It's like you have all these other farmers and ranchers that are doing this with you. You know what I mean? You guys are all on that same trajectory, doing this dance together. And so leveraging each other and building those relationships and friendships, right? It makes all the difference in your experience in this program, because it is such a huge value of joining the program is just having each other, having that community. Most ranchers are so isolated, right, out in their middle of nowhere farms, and then on top of that, being an entrepreneur, which is also super isolating, and like, you can feel so alone. And so, you come in, and Jeff, I just love that you have made so many connections, so many friendships. I know you've got a whole list of people's phone numbers on speed dial in your phone that you can call day or night and be like, hey, I have this crazy idea. What do you think? Along with the support of our team on all of our many calls and all that stuff. But it's a really cool community, and I'm just so glad that you've really embraced its fullness. It's so cool.
Well, one of those things I just mentioned, I forgot to say on the, crazy, this is kind of a crazy idea that we're sampling. So Jake knows my influencer, one of his influencer friends, her name is Courtney Luna. Y'all may know her from social media. She's really, really doing well now. She's a mom. She's got kids, and she's a recipe kind of cook person, like a Martha Stewart. She's agreed to have us go out. I'm just going to send Jake with a box of steaks and an ice chest and his video gear, and he's going to go out and he is going to video her talking about Joppa Cattle Company and the steaks to see how we can leverage that. So we are going to these people instead of saying, hey, will you come to us and work with us? We're going, we'll come to your home. You don't have to do anything but just create some content with us and see if we can get another promotional partnership going like I have with Jake.
Yeah. How did you and Jake create such a tight partnership? Does he get like commissions, or did you bring him in?
I pay him $1,500 a month, number one.
Okay. So he's kind of like a paid,
yeah,
but he's more than just a partnership. He's like, almost like your partnerships director. Like Jeff, I swear to you, I've always said if there's one hire I would do in my business, it would be someone whose full-time job is just to go out and find me more partnerships and create those collaborations for me. Like if my bandwidth was too full to do that constantly. So that seems like that's sort of his role for you.
That, and plus he brings my creative offshore resource that I have full time now out of the Philippines, which has been great. And
Yeah.
he's very cost effective.
So like he's kind of outsourcing some Philippine VAs for you. Oh my gosh,
Yep,
that's amazing.
yep.
Yeah. Kimberly asked, how do you have time for all of this? And it's utilizing probably resources like VAs and that smart hire, because he's such a needle mover in revenue. But is there any other ways that you're managing your time or having time for all of this?
Just creating automations, listening to Michael Stelzner's AI Explored podcast. Michael Stelzner, it's the Social Media Examiner is the name of his company. And one of his podcasts is AI Explored. And the other one is Social Media Marketing, I think. Lots of great stuff there to learn that I leverage with my offshore resource. So that's,
There's that podcast, so you guys have it. I'm definitely checking that one out. Very cool. All right, guys. Well, awesome. Thank you so much, Jeff, for coming and speaking with us today, and us just being able to showcase you and celebrate all of your progress and where you're going and just the entrepreneur that you have become. It has been an absolute honor to be on this path with you, coaching you and helping and watching and witnessing the transformation that has occurred in you and in yourself.
It's been fun. Thanks. Yeah. Anybody, I'm happy to chat with them as well. Thanks everyone. Appreciate that.
I love it, guys. Well, everybody, you have a happy Easter. Today is Good Friday. So you guys have a wonderful day, peaceful day, and a very wonderful weekend with your families. We'll catch you all next week.
Thank you.
Bye.